Well, new tonight, Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder has rejected an invitation to testify to Congress again. Good to see you. I'm Lorenzo Hall.
And I'm Larry Miller. This is part of that House Oversight investigation into allegations actually made against the team, including that Snyder fostered a hostile workplace culture and allowed for rampant sexual harassment.
Yeah, we want to bring in WUSA 9 Sports Director Darren Haynes and anchor Adam Longo, who have been following this story closely. To both of you, what do we need to know about this right now?
So this congressional committee, Zoe, investigating the Commanders and the NFL, they put out a pretty harsh statement just this morning saying that Dan Snyder has something to hide and that he's afraid to come clean.
Yeah, in a two-page letter sent to Congress obtained by WUSA 9, Dan Snyder's legal team reiterates certain accommodations need to be met before they'll give the okay to testify in person or remotely. Now, I reached out to the NFL about Snyder's latest refusal. They declined to comment. However, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell still plans to testify remotely on Wednesday. Now, remember, congressional investigators are looking into the Commanders and its toxic workplace culture, the NFL's investigation of the team, and a report about the investigation that the NFL hasn't released publicly.
Now, 6 members of Congress who represent D.C., Maryland, and Virginia sent a letter to Commissioner Goodell last week urging him to release that report before Wednesday's hearing. All right, now, this is video from back in February when the Oversight Committee heard from several former Commanders employees about their experiences with the team. They shared stories about workplace hostility and even alleged sexual harassment by Dan Snyder himself, which he later denied vehemently. All right, so let's get back into some of this back and forth between the committee and Dan Snyder's attorneys.
Yeah, here's a list of reasons why Dan Snyder's attorney says Dan Snyder can't show up for the hearing. First, Mr. Snyder has a long-standing business conflict which he is out of the country for. Second, they're asking for advanced knowledge of any documents that would be presented, as well as assurances about the scope of questioning. Snyder's team adds their request is a request often granted for other witnesses. And third, a virtual hearing doesn't work for them because Snyder's attorney wouldn't be physically with Mr. Snyder.
So now the congressional committee has 2 options. First, try to figure out an agreeable date for Snyder's testimony in another hearing, or secondly, just serve him with a subpoena and force him to appear. I can tell you this, the committee is not going to let Dan Snyder off the hook just because he's not available to testify on Wednesday.
Yeah, very true. Now, Adam will be on Capitol Hill for the hearing Wednesday morning, and I'll be with some of the former employees during their hearing. We'll have in-depth coverage of all the developments, so keep it here throughout the day on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, we'll be tuned in on Wednesday. A lot to take in. Adam, Darren, thank you.